It's a beautiful evening in Winnipeg as we get set to fire up another year of Friday Night Football on TSN. It's the Bombers and Ticats at IG Field. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers, you're familiar with. They've been to 3 straight Grey Cups, and they bring back the core once again this year. The Tiger Cats, on the other hand, 8-10 last season. They lose in the playoffs. They make significant changes, and none bigger than Bo Levi Mitchell.
Yeah, obviously felt they needed to be better at the quarterback position. Bo Levi Mitchell has as impressive a resume as anyone in the Canadian Football League today. The Hamilton Tiger Cats certainly hoping that he can duplicate his longtime Calgary success while wearing black and gold. And of course, in recent years, nobody's resume more impressive than that of the back-to-back reigning most outstanding player, Zach Collaros. He certainly found a home in Winnipeg.
There is the Coach of the Year in the Canadian Football League, a 12-1 start last season for Mike O'Shea and his Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and Orlando Steinauer on the other side. 3-2 in his career against Winnipeg in the regular season, but an 0-4 start last season, something that they had to overcome by being excellent down the stretch just to get in to the postseason. Sergio Castillo returning to the Bombers for the upcoming season, and he will get us started. As we mentioned, it's a picture-perfect night for football in Winnipeg, and we are underway. Woods will take this just inside his own 20, all the way back up to the 30, cuts it up the middle of the field, stays on his feet, and what a return to start this game. An excellent field position for that man.
Yeah, Bo Levi Mitchell taking a Canadian Football League field for the first time in his career wearing anything other than a Calgary Stampeder uniform. Began his career there in 2012. Of course, his rights dealt to Hamilton this offseason. The pending free agent he chose to sign with the Tiger Cats with the belief that he can help get this team to the Grey Cup.
It's going to take some getting used to, I think, for CFL fans to see him. They'll hand it off to Butler, and he'll take it all the way up to the 50. Let's take a look at the Tiger Cats starting offense.
Yeah, big acquisition for them along that offensive line. Left tackle Joel Figueroa comes over from BC to help protect Bo's blind side. In the receiving core, you heard in the pregame, technically not listed as a starter, but we know the deal. Duke Williams is going to be relied on as one of the go-to guys in that receiving core.
He's out there right now, brings some attitude to this Ticats roster. And he has a catch to start his Ticats career. Bo Levi Mitchell guns one in there, and Duke hangs on.
Yeah, longtime rivals, now allies, is Bo Levi Mitchell and Duke Williams come together as Tiger Cats. These guys worked out together with the Buffalo Bills. Bo doing the workout tour along with Duke. Duke ended up signing in Buffalo, but I think they realized then that they had a little bit of chemistry and thought one day this might work north of the border.
Just 12 games played over the last 2 years with the Riders for Duke. Now they hand it off to Butler, and a great push right up the middle again. And the Ticats marching. Butler takes it down inside the 25, and the new additions for Hamilton stepping up big early, Dwayne.
Yeah, things going according to plan, certainly for the Tiger Cats thus far, expecting these guys to be a big part of what they do. Duke Williams with a catch on his first play of the game. A couple of early touches for Butler, and we know he likes that first quarter in week 1, Dustin.
Yeah, last year he absolutely torched Edmonton in that home opener for the BC Lions. 4 touchdowns in that game, 4 touchdowns in the first half of that game. Now he's going to flare out to the right, takes the pass from Mitchell, stumbles a little bit, Big Hill wraps him up and takes him down just inside the 25, back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a little bit further. Big Hill, a huge part of this Bombers D.
Yeah, no question about that. As we'll take a look at the rest of this unit, you've got Ricky Walker at defensive tackle. He replaces the departed Casey Sales, now a Tiger Cat. As you saw, Adam Big Hill still a force in the middle of that linebacking unit. And on the back end, one of the most talked about guys during training camp for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, halfback Evan Holm. Played about half the season last year. They say he had an absolutely terrific camp here in 23.
4 options, wide side left for Cole. Dumps it off, deflected up in the air, and it'll fall incomplete. Was looking for his running back, but the Bombers managed to get a piece of it.
Yeah, trying to set up that screen. You'll see Butler sneak out to the left side, trying to get in behind the line. But Willie Jefferson doing what Willie Jefferson does, causing great disruption in the offensive backfield.
The only player in league history with 50 sacks and 50-plus knockdowns, and chalk up another one there. Seth Small out to put points on the board, and he is able to knock that through. Tiger Cats put together a drive, have to settle for 3. There is the 2-time most outstanding player in the Canadian Football League. He will have the ball when we return. Career highs last season for Zach Collaros, putting up over 4,100 yards, led the league in touchdowns by a significant margin. Everything went well last year during the regular season.
Yeah, it certainly did it. When you look at Zach Collaros' time as a Winnipeg Blue Bomber, everything has clicked. It's like he's spent his career working towards finding that perfect fit. And once he was traded to Winnipeg late in that 2019 season, it's been nothing but positive. The Grey Cup defeat aside.
At the top of the list for the CFL and TSN top 50, they hand it off to Dembski, tries to cut it back. Ball pops out. Mad scramble for it at the 40 as Dembski kind of got spun back around, and we'll see if the Ticats are able to hop on this ball, which would be an early swing of momentum at IG Field. And it is Hamilton Tiger Cats football as Dembski has one pop away from him under pressure.
And a tough break out of the gate for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The team typically very good at protecting the football. Here, Dembski just trying to make something happen. As you can see, he's completely outnumbered by Ticats. Jameer Thurman doing a nice job there to stay with him on the redirection. And I believe it's the Ticats' new middle linebacker who gets a hand on the ball for the strip.
Thurman, another big addition. Dobson looked like he had the best first crack at it there for the Bombers. And then the Ticats must have pried that out from underneath him.
Yeah, it looked like that ball bounced back as Dobson went to fall on it, bounced back sort of between his legs, which allowed a Ticat player to get in there and secure it.
Winnipeg Blue Bombers last season just 6 fumbles the entire year. 2023 starts with 1. Mitchell now has that batted down neatly. Solid play defensively by Desmond Lawrence.
Des Lawrence, the former Tiger Cat, traded late last season. Looking to the outside here, Lawrence on the corner. He just stays in the hip pocket of Tim White the whole way on that one.
Tim White, almost 1,300 yards receiving last year. And there's a flag at midfield.
Hamilton is challenging the previous play. They believe there was defensive pass interference on Winnipeg number 22. The play will be reviewed.
We are wasting no time getting things going at IG Field for Friday Night Football to get rolling on the 2023 season. This play under review. An answer when we return. Welcome back, everyone. Here's the play that we are currently having reviewed. What do you think, Dwayne?
Yeah, watch that right arm of Desmond Lawrence makes contact just at the time that Tim White starts to make his break. As White turns to come back to the ball, it looked like the right arm of Lawrence may have hooked the right arm of the intended receiver a little bit.
Came up to get it, so an interesting challenge. 10 challenges last year for Hamilton, and they won 7 of them, so a pretty good clip last year for Steinauer, but let's find out how this season starts.
After review by the command center, there was no infraction of play. Rolling stands. Hamilton is charged a timeout. for the remainder of the game. Second down.
In the realm of letting them play football, I like this call. I think this is the right call from a football perspective. I don't think he impeded White from coming back to the ball.
What do you think of the decision to use the challenge, this position in the field early in the ballgame?
Yeah, I understand it actually from a momentum point of view early on, coming off a turnover, good field position where you have a chance to score 6. You want to go for that, not just settle for 3.
Second and 10. Mitchell running out to his left. Throws it. Is it intercepted on the far sideline? A discussion between officials and Willie Jefferson, who's in there trying to figure out what the call is going to be. And it is an interception. Mitchell along the sideline has it taken away by Demario Houston.
Yeah, Houston, the third-year man, playing out on the corner. As Bo's looking for that outlet to his fullback, Garon Gauthier along the sideline. You see Houston sniffed that one out early and came underneath to make the grab.
What a phenomenal play by Houston to make this play along the sideline. Wow.
Yeah, you look at how far in front of the intended receiver he was. That's just an indication. When Bo started coming this way, he was behind him. Houston knew where the ball was going and committed fully to getting there to make a play on it.
2 interceptions for Demario Houston last season. Had 9 starts, played 11 games for the Bombers, and back to the iPad for Bo Levi Mitchell, whose Ticats do lead 3-0. 2 turnovers early in this game. Turnovers were an issue for the Ticats last year. Not so much the Bombers, but Winnipeg does get the ball back. They start on their own 31. Collaros behind the intended targets of Dalton Schoen, who will once again be a big piece of this Winnipeg offense.
And we'll take a look at this group along the offensive line. Of course, Stanley Bryant, once again, the most outstanding O-lineman. We'll keep an eye on Chris Kolankowski. 2016 Jim Barker Argo draftee, by the way. 15 starts for him at center last year. And you just saw Dalton Schoen, the 2022 Canadian Football League Rookie of the Year. And they all say he's in even better shape coming in here in 2023.
Guys in great shape getting in even better shape. Unbelievable. Deep shot down the field. Agadosi's got it. Hauls it in just inside the 50 and eventually forced out of bounds in the lineup in place of Kenny Lawler. And the big fella hauls it in.
Agadosi, a huge target. You anticipate in this situation that you're throwing up the ball to your 6'6" receiver, hoping he can make a contested catch for you. This one ends up uncontested as the rookie corner, Kenneth George Jr., slips up on the play. Big gain there for the Bombers, now into Hamilton territory.
40 yards to Agadosi. Collaros fakes it, then rolls to his right. Pressure coming, and eventually just fires that ball out of bounds against this Hamilton starting defense.
And on that defensive line, the former Bomber Casey Sales checks in at D tackle. Dylan Wynn opens the season on the 6-game injured list. Chris Edwards comes down the QEW highway from Toronto to bring a little bit of an edge to that linebacking core. He's joined by former Stampeder Jameer Thurman in the middle. A lot of changes in the secondary for Hamilton, but a familiar face in Richard Leonard at the field half spot.
2nd and 10 on the Hamilton 39. Collaros near side. Wolotarski wide open for a first down. Takes it to the 20. Wrapped up by Woods and taken down there.
Well, Drew Wolotarski, University of Minnesota product, typically lining up at that Z receiver, wide side, wide receiver spot. See the coverage slacks off of him there. Collaros keeping the D honest by basically checking it down to that side of the field.
Gets them a fresh set of downs at the 20 for Winnipeg. Trailing 3-0 here midway through the first quarter. Home opener for the Bombers on a beautiful night in Winnipeg. 4 receivers out to the right. He'll hand it off. And a short pickup And a couple of yards there on the first touch of the game for the running back. 1,000 yards last year for Brady Oliveira.
Yeah, kind of a breakout year for Oliveira. Winnipeg product. But at the University of North Dakota, be facing one of his former college teammates, another Winnipegger, Mason Bennett, part of that Hamilton defensive line.
Bombers need 7. They'll take more for sure. Pressure coming. Collaros towards the end zone. Dembski got it. Touchdown Winnipeg. Collaros to Dembski, and the Bombers strike.
Off the turnover. DeMario Houston interception. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers offense makes Hamilton pay. Dembski working from the left slot. Finds himself open, going to the corner. Acrobatic catch to go up and get this one just as he gets hit. Feet down for the major.
10 touchdowns last year for Dembski, and you can put one on the board in 2023. Castillo out to tack on another, and he will hammer that through. Winnipeg with their first lead of the night, 7-3, and it's redemption for Dembski after an earlier fumble in the quarter. Gets to the corner this time, goes up, and comes down with it. Winnipeg's first major of the year. Nick Dembski, the first Bomber of the season to find the end zone. And here's a look at how he did it.
Yeah, he lines up as the number 3 receiver here, and that's going to leave him matched up against the free safety, Tunde Adeleke. Adeleke starting off in the middle of the field. Dembski makes that break to the corner. Long way to go as Collaros puts that ball close to the sidelines where only his receiver can get it. Long, long way to go in coverage. Adeleke can't get there. Bombers on the board.
Dembski, excellent season last year. Found himself being ranked 34th in the TSN top 50 players coming into the year. Moves up to that immediately. Woods waits for it. Cleanly takes it at his 20. Quick 10 yards. Back up. Stays on his feet. Broke a couple of tackles and once again takes that ball outside the 40. Another solid return from Lawrence Woods. Bo Levi Mitchell. It's been a long ride to get here, a decade with the Calgary Stampeders, a couple of Grey Cups, a couple of MOPs, and now joins the Ticats. Well, you have to go back a decade for Bo Levi Mitchell's first start, but it was right here in Winnipeg. For more on that, let's send it down to John Luke.
Yeah, Dustin, Bo Levi Mitchell, taking a trip down memory lane, says that he was numb in the days leading up to his first CFL start because he was so locked into his preparation. And once the game started, he said that he blacked out and let his body take over. However, Mitchell recalls that he was near perfect, 29 for 33 in a demolition of the Blue Bombers. So when then Calgary offensive line coach Mike Gibson chided him for not staying in the pocket enough, Mitchell snapped back with salty language telling Gibson to just let him play his game. And it was then that later on that Mitchell realized that he had snapped at Gibson when the two men connected here in Hamilton, as Gibson is now the offensive line coach for the Ticats. They had a good laugh over that moment. Reminiscing, guys.
Hey, it worked out okay, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I remember doing that game. Bo's first start here back in 2013. 29 of 33. Close to 400 yards in his debut. Absolutely spectacular and a sign of things to come. He was one of the players of the week that week.
Three of 6 to start this game. Big Hill bringing some heat. Mitchell down the field looking for White. Got turned around against home. And it does fall incomplete.
trying to push that ball down the field, but a little bit of pressure. Big Hill was coming on the blitz. They got him picked up, but things just breaking down a little bit. Evan Holm, as we mentioned, second-year man, doing a pretty good job. Stand with the elusive Tim White.
Clint kicks this away. Towering kick, bounces at the 6, and all the way into the end zone over the head of Janarian Grant.
Well, we mentioned Bo Levi Mitchell. Made his first start in 2013, actually came into the league as a rookie in 2012. Not the only rookie QB to come in 2012. His counterpart tonight, Zach Collaros, also part of that rookie QB class, and they've put together pretty similar resumes over the course of the last decade.
Different routes to get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But very similar accomplishments.
Yeah, Bo his entire career to this point with Calgary. Zach joked with us in our conversation the other day about this being the longest he's been with one team.
Collaros looking for Dembski again, and he's got him again! Dembski with 2 big ones early, takes it down inside the 25.
We talked about Nick Dembski off the top. Once again, he lines up as the number 3 receiver, third man in from the sideline, working to the corner here. And again, Adeleke from his free safety spot in the middle of the field, trying to chase towards that sideline. And a perfectly thrown ball from Collaros to Dembski. Beautiful over-the-shoulder catch.
47 yards on the completion. Back to Dembski. A little sidearm action there from Zach. And Dembski heavily involved, picking up where he left off last season.
And Nick Dembski playing his 100th career Canadian Football League game. Originally, this Winnipeg native was drafted by the Saskatchewan Roughriders, spent his first couple seasons there before moving over to Winnipeg as a free agent. Has been a perfect fit in this offense.
Dembski now in the slot to the left of Collaros. He goes the other way. Wolotarski hangs on to it, and that's enough for another Winnipeg first down.
Wolotarski, the big-bodied receiver, doing a nice job shielding the football here. He's lined up as the outside man on this one. Just working underneath in combination with Dalton Schoen.
It's been an air attack so far for Winnipeg. Collaros 6 of 8 for 136 yards and a touchdown. Has it, fake, Dembski, end zone touchdown! Rasheed Bailey, rather, as Bailey gets involved, his first catch of the ball game.
Well, we talk all the time about the impact that pressure can have on a quarterback. Causes them to rush, causes them to make bad decisions or inaccurate throws. Not Zach Collaros. He's got Garrett Davis right in his face on this one. He knows he has to readjust what he wants to do. But he's got the presence of mind to find Rasheed Bailey, put this one on the money for his second touchdown pass of this opening quarter.
Castillo tacks on one more. Bailey, under the radar, sneaky good season last year for the Bombers. So much talk about Schoen and Dembski, but Bailey had 9 touchdowns last season.
Yeah, Rasheed Bailey, he is often a forgotten man given some of the big names, but a big target, 6'2", over 200 pounds. Small school guy from Delaware Valley. Is here you see the play Nick Dembski that set things up, working to the corner. Over the shoulder catch down the sideline. And here it is, the play action. Davis gets upfield. Zach catches him with the pump fake. Stays with it, knowing he's going to take a hit. but hangs in there to find Rasheed Bailey.
Zach Collaros is 7 of 9 for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns here in the first quarter. And he's got everybody involved. Dembski with 4, Wolotarski with a couple, Stone, Agadosi, Bailey, all targeted so far, and 4 of them have receptions. 14-4, the Bombers lead. Woods takes it just inside his own 25. A couple of great returns already in this game, and he's got another one all the way out to midfield. And once again, excellent starting field position for Bo Levi Mitchell.
Yeah, even as a veteran quarterback, this isn't the situation that you want to find yourself in early on in your first start with a new team. You know, we talk a lot of the time about young quarterbacks, giving them good field position, sort of playing to keep the game close and so on, not be in a hole where they're going to have to throw the football. A lot of time left in the world of Canadian football, but you don't want to see that game plan forced to change for Hamilton if they fall further behind here.
Butler fumbles it, is scooped up and brought back the other way by DeMario Houston, tripped up just outside the 50, and the bounce is going the way of the Bombers.
Coming into this game, you had a sense that this could potentially be part of the game story, and was one of the things that the Hamilton Tiger Cats needed to change from last year. The Tiger Cats a year ago, in terms of their takeaway giveaway ratio, they were minus 22, league worst. Struggled with fumbles, struggled with interceptions, just turned over the ball far too much. Winnipeg, on the other hand, second in the league at plus 14. And you're seeing that same theme play out here in the opening quarter of the 2023 season.
20 interceptions, 17 fumbles last year by this Tiger Cats team, and one of each so far here tonight. Oliveira, about half of what they need, maybe just shy of it, right to midfield on first down.
And you worry as well from a Hamilton point of view. Game 1 of the season. Starters typically haven't played a lot in the preseason. Guys aren't in game shape yet. Now you've got a defense for Hamilton that's having to be on the field a lot early because their offense is having trouble finding traction. We'll see if that becomes a factor as the game wears on.
Against a quarterback who's feeling it so far. Collaros closing in on 150 yards here in the first quarter. Looks to his left. That's where he's going to throw. And he drops it in there for Schoen, who had David Elliott in pursuit, but it's a first down for Winnipeg.
Well, you mentioned earlier all those receivers having been targeted. Only one of them was still looking for a catch. It wasn't the guy that you'd expect. And Dalton Schoen, the league's leading receiver and rookie of the year a year ago. And he officially gets himself on the stats sheet here.
First offensive touch of the game for Winnipeg was a Dembski fumble. But this team bouncing back in a big way since then, leading 14-4. They'll hand it off. Oliveira right up the middle, left to right, and picks his way down towards the 30.
Brady Oliveira is at his best when he's running downhill, just going north-south. The ball, big, powerful back. You see the Bombers' offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, Buck Pierce, longtime CFL quarterback with both the BC Lions and here in Winnipeg. Took over that role with the departure of Paul LaPolice.
Second and 2, back to Oliveira again. And that should be enough. Nice push from that offensive line. And that will take them down to the 30, and another fresh set of downs for Winnipeg.
It's been mostly that aerial attack so far for Winnipeg, but starting to sprinkle in a little bit of Brady Oliveira. Now is Ticats D coordinator Mark Washington searching for an answer on the sidelines.
Would love to have a stop on this drive. Momentum swinging to the Bombers and the home crowd here. Collaros fakes the handoff. Wolotarski in the end zone. Defender falls. Touchdown!
play calling by Buck Pierce. We see that shift from the passing game to the ground game. 1st and 10. Of course they're going to run the ball again, right? That's what Hamilton's thinking. No way. Zach Collaros pulls it, gets outside easily all kinds of time as the defender falls down. Drew Wolotarski has his first of the new season.
That was Kenneth George Jr. who stumbled and left Wolotarski wide open. He's making his CFL debut tonight. Wolotarski, 1 touchdown 2 seasons ago, 1 touchdown last year, and he's got another touchdown here to start the season. Collaros, brilliant, 189 yards, 3 touchdowns in the first. Welcome back to IG Field. The Bombers, 21 points in the first quarter. 21-4, they lead. Almost 200 passing yards in the first quarter, and a hot diggity dog. How about those Blue Bombers? A nice start. And this is the yard dog at IG Field this year. This is 32 inches. It's $45. For some reason, it also comes with French fries, which don't seem completely necessary. But you want to dive into this? You're a big food guy, Dwayne. Come on.
You know, I'm a big food guy, but it is known fact among our crew. I don't do hot dogs.
Doesn't eat hot dogs.
I don't do hot dogs.
No hot dogging around for Zach Collaros. 3 different guys into the end zone. You're the 2-time MOP. You can't script a better start for Zach Collaros tonight.
Yeah, he has been in the zone from the word go here tonight. Something to be said for continuity. And, you know, the question for Milt Stiegel is, you really think these guys are getting old?
Sure doesn't look like it. Flag on the return as Woods eventually gets wrapped up and taken down just outside the 31. I mentioned Wolotarski. Just 1 touchdown last season.
Thank everyone who helped me get here, bro. This shit don't happen on my own.
During the return, holding Hamilton number 46, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So that penalty will back the Ticats up. Wolotarski joining Dembski and Rasheed Bailey with touchdowns in that first quarter.
Well, so the frightening thought here is that Kenny Lawler is also a part of this receiving corps. He won't play for the first few weeks of the season, but they stand to get better.
Mitchell with a completion. Ball caught loose, but is scooped back up immediately. Just outside the 20 on a short pickup on first down.
Once again, tough start here for the Hamilton Tiger Cats as you see Tyler Ternowski on the grab. Fortunate to avoid another turnover there. A lot of time left in this ball game, but against a tough Winnipeg D, you don't want to let this hole get it any deeper.
4 options wide side left for Bull. In trouble, out to his right. Has a completion. DeAndre Smith is there. Slides underneath that one, and that'll give the Ticats some breathing room.
Not the most difficult catch, but a big one and a big play for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And this is a little bit, quite frankly, the veteran presence of Bo Levi Mitchell, what he brings to the table. Things breaking down a little bit. He's forced out of the pocket, but keeps his poise, manages in that 2nd and long situation to find DeAndre Smith downfield for the first down.
1st and 10 from the Ticat 39. Back to Butler. Pushes it ahead. Just shy of the 45, but a pretty good pickup on first down for Butler, who's moving the ball well on the ground for Hamilton.
Yeah, Butler had a couple of nice runs in Hamilton's first possession, where things got derailed a little bit with that fumble. But here you see his breakout year with the BC Lions in 2022. Over 1,000 yards on the season. We talked about that fantastic start he had in week 1.
Butler out to the right, Mitchell throws to the left, and that is held on to by Smith for a first down.
No doubt Tiger Cats looking for big things from Keandre Smith in his 2nd season out of the University of Guelph. Well, kind of becoming receiver U. We had Kean Schaefer-Baker a couple of years ago. Smith, a rookie last year. Clark Barnes for Calgary last night with a nice debut.
Smith, a nice find in the 4th round. They'll fake the handoff to Butler. Mitchell now looking down the field for White. Tried to get back to it, but Holm comes over the top and breaks it up. What a play.
Yeah, and I think if Bo had this one back, he'd probably tell you that this ball is underthrown just a little bit, which gave Holm a chance to recover. So here you see Tim White going to work deep and across the field. And you see he's got a step here on Holm, but that he has to hold up for that ball, which allows Holm to close, get that left arm in to break it up.
2nd and 10. Near side, Godwin's got it. And eventually is taken down after a pretty solid second effort trying to make a play. First catch of the night for Terry Godwin, the second.
A revamped Hamilton Tiger Cat receiving core. Tim White remains the centerpiece. Stephen Dunbar moves to Edmonton in free agency. Braylon Addison released as he's battled injuries over the last couple of years. Duke Williams comes over from Saskatchewan.
Janarian Grant waiting for this, back just inside his own 10. It'll be kicked away from about the 46. And that one is out of bounds. And some extracurriculars along the sidelines leads to a flag. That's Omar Bayless getting involved where maybe he shouldn't. Dalton Schoen, most outstanding rookie in the CFL. A phenomenal season last year. Safe to say last season Dalton Schoen kind of came out of nowhere, didn't he?
Yeah, he really did. This guy started his career as a walk-on at Kansas State University. Bit of an unknown, as you said, coming into the CFL, but folks up north figured out who he was in a real hurry as Dalton Schoen had an absolutely monstrous rookie season, leading the league in receiving yards and with 16 touchdowns.
Couple of penalties, including unnecessary roughness, and Omar Bayless has moved his ball up to the 45 for Winnipeg. That's where they start Dembski, another big chunk all the way down to the 45, and Kolaris and Dembski are having their way with the Ticats.
Yeah, and this has been part of the challenge for Hamilton, is that they really haven't been able to flip or maintain any sort of field position in this football game. Had a chance to pin the Blue Bombers deep with the punt there. Get called for an illegal kick because it went out of bounds between the 15-yard lines. And then you had the unnecessary roughness call, as you mentioned, on Bayless, scuffling with a Bomber player along the sidelines. Chance to pin them deep, and they let them out around midfield to start the drive.
Oliveira, nice footwork to find some open space. And a decent pickup on first down for Brady Oliveira on his 5th carry of the ball game.
Well, Brady Oliveira and that veteran offensive line looking to be in mid-season form. Now, you talk about the offensive line as a 5-man group and the importance of communication, experience, time working together, and so on. You look at the Bombers with Jamarcus Hardrick, Stanley Bryant, Patrick Neufeld, all guys with over 100 career starts in the CFL.
Providing time again for Kolaris. So Lawrence almost picked that one off. Flag on the far side by the 40. And Kolaris is saying it'll be against the Ticats. One thing you cannot do against Winnipeg is take penalties and shoot yourselves in the foot.
Defensive pass interference, Hamilton number 21. This will be a 10-yard penalty and automatic first down.
Not sure that Simone Lawrence agrees with the call. Lawrence right along that hash mark. Not sure exactly.
I don't think it was on Lawrence. It was announced on Lawrence, but looked like he was trying to take advantage of the play, not taking the penalty. Another great carry on first down here for Winnipeg.
Simone Lawrence, weak side linebacker for Hamilton. You can see him just partly concealed by the goalpost. He takes his drop, sees the throw coming, runs to get underneath it. I don't think he ever made contact even with the receiver.
Could not have been him. That did not look like anything. 2nd and 3 for Collaros. Fakes the handoff, gets it to Schoen, turns it upfield. Heavy collision at the 20 as Woods stands in there and kicks the ball after and gets flagged immediately. Not a wise decision from Lawrence Woods.
Objectionable conduct, Hamilton number 8. We're going to go 10 yards, and this is a misconduct foul.
This is one certainly where I understand the call against Woods. You'll see as this continues on, as he gets up, he kicks the ball towards the Bomber receivers. Not the most aggressive kick.
No, he's not going to take Small's job anytime soon. Here's Collaros looking for more, and that one will fall incomplete. Schoen was tied up with Javian Elliott and couldn't get a clean look at it.
I understand the call. I don't love the call, Dustin. You see the Bombers working to get Dalton Schoen a little more involved here.
I'm not as quick.
Second quarter.
I'm not as quick as he is. I didn't come to work this year in better shape than last year.
Join the club, buddy.
That's where the differences start. 2nd and goal on the Ticat 10 for Collaros. 3 passing touchdowns already today. Thought about taking off. Forced back. Matt scramble now and eventually has to throw it away. Harney was begging for a flag there.
And another flag thrown.
And got one.
Now, is this going to be grounding, or is this going to be because of something the Tiger Cats said in lobbying for a call?
Well, let's find out.
Intentional grounding, Winnipeg number 8. The ball will be placed from where it was thrown. It will be 3rd down.
Yeah, so smart decision for Collaros and looking for the throwaway, but this one not near an eligible receiver, nor getting it back across the goal line, or line of scrimmage, excuse me.
Castile, 84.1% last year, just over 85% in his career, back in that Blue Bomber blue, just inside the right hash. Sheehan to hold, and Castile steady, knocks it through, and the Winnipeg lead goes to 20. Tim White just 1 catch so far here in his first half with Bo Levi Mitchell. They will look to change that when we return to IG Field. Welcome back to Winnipeg, everyone. A quiet night so far for that man, but he didn't have many of those last season. Led the league in targets and catches.
Yeah, you go back to 2021, and Tim White wasn't in the Ticats starting lineup as that season opened, but some injuries in the receiving corps provided an opportunity. White certainly making the most of that. Emerged as their go-to guy.
Pitch it out to Butler. He's got a first down, spun off of contact, and picked up about 5 extra yards. That'll take Butler over 50 yards rushing here in the first half.
Again, having some success with that ground game are the Tiger Cats. James Butler coming as advertised from the BC Lions. A little to show for that part of their game so far.
He's averaging 10 yards per carry. They'll go back to him. A spin move will get him a couple here on first down. We mentioned it a couple of times tonight, but his game last year to open the season in Vancouver, I did this game, 4 touchdowns. And then they eventually slowed him down, but he had a first half for the ages.
Yeah, just a phenomenal start to the season for Butler and for the BC Lions as a whole, quite frankly, as that was sort of the beginning of the Nathan Rourke show last year.
Mitchell looking down the field for White, misses him, too much on it, and White could not get there. Bo Levi has tried to find him a couple of times, underthrew him once, overthrew him once. Is this just a matter of finding the timing with one of your best weapons?
Yeah, that's it, settling in, getting some reps together. Again, at live speed, in terms of game action, starters not playing a ton in the preseason. So it's going to take a little bit of time for these guys.
Grant takes it just inside his own 15. A heavy pop. And Grant bounces back up just fine. Tim White, a couple of feet behind it. Bo Levi knows he missed him. What a beautiful night for football. It was like 23 degrees at kickoff. Beverages are flowing. People have their shirts off.
Yeah, the Road Warriors are here.
Those big hats. Not a fan just yet of the big hat, but maybe I'll be convinced throughout the year. Brady Oliveira takes the handoff and picks up a couple of yards on first down. He had big shoes to fill last year.
Well, he certainly did, with Blue Bomber legend and future Canadian Football Hall of Famer Andrew Harris departing the Blue Bombers for Toronto in free agency. Oliveira stepping up into that starting role and really establishing himself as one of the top backs here in the Canadian Football League.
There was a pass-heavy attack early for Kolaris, and this one in and out of the hands of the intended target. That was Rasheed Bailey. And that will bring up third down. Bailey grimacing in pain and holding his arm. Down to a knee on the sideline. If you're just joining us, he had a touchdown in the first quarter. Jamison Sheen to kick this away, standing on his own 10. Woods waiting deep for the return. Beautiful kick. Taken just inside the 30. Woods looking for some open space. Flag on the play as he pushes it back just outside the 45. So heartbreak last year for the Blue Bombers after back-to-back Grey Cup championships. Turnover and a blocked kick along the way ended up costing them a three-peat. For more on the heartbreak of head coach Mike O'Shea, let's send it down to John Luke.
Thank you, Dustin. And as far as the heartbreak is concerned, the Bombers didn't let themselves dwell on that too much. From the start of training camp, Mike O'Shea said that the Grey Cup loss was fuel for the offseason, and that is where he left it. From the start of training camp, the overarching message from the coaching staff to the Bombers was to drill down deeper on details in all facets of their game. And basically the acknowledgement of that is that little moments, random moments, mistakes, plays in the Grey Cup cost them at the wrong time, considering that they lost by only 1 point. So judging by the way the Bombers responded after Nick Dembski's opening sequence fumble, they are on their P's and Q's with their details already, guys.
He was telling us on a call earlier this week that right after the loss, he didn't even want to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
He didn't want to hear people say, oh, you were very close. Good try.
Yeah, exactly. Once you've had that taste of a certain success and know you've been there. The Bombers, after back-to-back Grey Cups, they didn't want to be close. Didn't want to hear about the fact that they were close, that it was a good try.
Mitchell is 7 of 14, and Jefferson gets there to take him down for the sack. Willie Jefferson's first sack of the season comes late in the second quarter. Bo Levi Mitchell, no time on that play. Trying to find a way to get this offense going, and Willie Jefferson would have none of it. Big fella gets home.
Coming up at the half, we're going to talk about the Bombers' brilliance in the first. Bo Levi Mitchell missing Tim White. What's happening? And Coach is going to tell you exactly how many diamonds are in his Grey Cup. He's counting them right now, individually, one by one. 922.
That's a lot of bling. Grant on the return.
Let's go, man. 4-9 BMT. Daddy.
Well, big Willie Jefferson, the man of the moment for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers defense, having snuffed out that last Tiger Cat drive with his first sack of the season, getting to Bo Levi Mitchell.
7 sacks in 2022 for that man.
Oh, man, let's go.
1 on the board already. A lot of different Bombers contributing here in the first half. Oliveira takes it straight ahead. Rasheed Bailey back out there on the field, so he appears to be okay after leaving in some discomfort just a few moments ago.
The Bombers get back to their traditional 5 receiver set here. We've seen them a number of times running the football with an extra offensive lineman, Liam Dobson, in the ball game, lining up as a tight end. Going to wear the Tiger Cats down a little bit. Some physical play in that ground game.
Agudosi back in there now. Polaris dumps it off. Oliveira puts on the brakes, finds some space, first down and more. Brady Oliveira inside the 30, a big pickup for the running back as Polaris found him.
Oliveira's been busy in the ground game, now getting involved as a receiver. Nice job to make those first 2 defenders miss. Gets the ball in that outside arm, keep it protected from oncoming pursuit as he rumbles down the sideline into Ticat territory.
6 different players with a catch in the first half for Winnipeg. They lead 24-20, looking for more. Polaris to his right. Schoen hauls it in, tries to break a tackle. Now they'll push him forward. And it'll eventually be blown dead just shy of the 5. 3rd catch of the game for the Rookie of the Year.
You'll see Schoen find the hole inside, just sits down and waits for it. Confident that Zach Collaros will find him, as he so frequently did a year ago. Got 1st and goal from the 7 here. Bombers pressing once again.
Big front. They'll hand it off. Oliveira trying to pick his way through towards the end zone, and the Ticats will deny him on the first attempt.
That Bomber offensive line takes such pride in its running game as see the rookie quarterback Terrell Pigram coming into the game with this short yardage unit, one of the stars of the preseason here in Winnipeg.
Preseason sensation, bringing people to their feet multiple times in preseason action. 2nd and goal from the 2 for Pigram, trying to push ahead, looking for the end zone, and the Ticats have the denial with just over a minute remaining. Adeleke the face of Pigram at the end of the play.
Well, the rookie quarterback was a little bit of a spark plug in his preseason appearances. Impressed with his combination of running ability and a strong arm. Getting an opportunity here to use the former on this short yardage unit. Listed as being from Towson University, but had a few stops along the way. Maryland, Western Kentucky, and Ole Miss.
Pigram will try again, this time from the 1. And it looks like he stopped again, thrown down, no helmet. The Ticats are able to drive him back. And there's Adeleke again, right in the face of the rookie.
Well, Ticat defense comes up big here, forcing the Bombers into a field goal situation. Excuse me, stopped on 3rd down, the turnover.
Yeah, that was 3rd and goal from the 1. So a big stop for the Ticats defense. If you're looking for a bright spot, something to build on going into halftime.
Turnover.
And there's still 70 seconds left here, but
yeah, I had forgotten. Clara stayed in for the 1st down play from the 7.
Yeah, the handoff to Oliveira. Then Pigram for a couple of cracks at it, and a little frustrated. And as he walks the sideline, Mitchell stands in his end zone, trailing by 20. Looks for a huge chunk here. White almost picked off, multiple flags, possibly an offensive pass interference.
Offensive pass interference. Hamilton, number 12. That penalty will be declined. 2nd down.
And not much doubt about this one. The matchup on the outside, furthest to the left side of your screen. Little doubt as White was forced to go into defensive mode here, pulling Des Lawrence down to prevent the INT.
Yeah, if he doesn't, Lawrence hauls that thing in. That's a very good shot to do so. So 2nd and 10 for Mitchell. Quickly this time. Heavy hit by Alexander, but the ball is held on to by Smith.
Alexander coming downhill on that one. A little bit of old school free safety play there, delivering a lick.
Third catch of the game for the 2nd-year Smith. Leads the Ticats in that department. It's always scary when you're kicking the ball to Janarian Grant. And he stands inside your own 50. And they will not do that. Multiple whistles on the field as the snap was to Adeleke. And the Ticats are not happy that that was blown down.
Yeah, the whole point of having Adeleke back there was to run out time, use up time. Run down this clock with the ball going back to the Bombers.
So we're going to apply a 10-yard.
Few things to sort out here late in the first half. They put some time back on the clock.
On the previous play, Hamilton, number 2, fake to go down, and he didn't go down by rule. This is objectionable conduct. Hamilton, number 2, a 10-yard penalty will be enforced, and the clock should read 36 seconds. 36.
interpret that the same way, because I did not see Adelake's movement as a fake to go down.
It didn't look like a fake, did it?
Again, even just by the mere fact that you're putting a kick returner type back there, he's not back there to go down immediately. Everybody in the stadium knows it.
Bombers get the ball back on their own 50. And just a short pickup right up the middle. Don't go anywhere. Halftime coming up here on Friday Night Football.
Much to dissect for our panel this evening.
A very eventful first half. Bombers looking excellent. Bo Levi having trouble connecting with Tim White a couple of times. Here's Collaros near side. Complete to Bailey. And he's pushed out of bounds just inside the 50 with 21 seconds on the clock. And Bombers possibly thinking field goal here late in the second quarter.
And this exactly what the Tiger Cats were trying to avoid by trying to get that clock running before giving up the safety.
They work from the Hamilton 47. Collaros over the middle looking for Dembski. He's got it. What a catch by Dembski. Takes it down to the 25. That'll put Dembski over 100 yards receiving in the opening half of the ball game. Fourth time in his career that he's hit 100. Did it once last year. Collaros working quickly here. That pass behind the intended target. Looking for Bailey. It's turned around. Delicate comes in hard there, and he's holding his elbow.
This would be a big loss for a Ticat secondary that saw a lot of change over the offseason. Deontay Evans moving to Montreal in free agency. Cariel Brooks to Ottawa. Jamal Roll actually had gone to Montreal before retiring. 3 veteran guys on the move. So this is a group that really, here in 2023, would be relying on Tunde Adeleke at free safety and Richard Leonard sort of be the stabilizing veteran presences back there. Be Stavro Katsantonis out of UBC.
3-time All-Canadian with the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, he comes on to replace Adeleke at safety spot.
Seven seconds on the clock. Collaros and the Bombers offense on the field, leading 26-4. Collaros 13 of 19 for 255 and 3 touchdowns, if you're wondering if the MOP still had his stuff. Second and 10. This time they'll hand it off. Oliveira will just push it ahead. And that with 2 seconds on the clock. Flags here at the end of the half. Ticats. Diallo being pulled away by teammates.
Yeah, it looked like Diallo gave a little extra oomph pushing off of somebody to get up there from the pile.
After the play, major foul, unnecessary roughness. Hamilton number 94, half the distance to the goal. This is a misconduct foul. First down.
Well, you don't see that play very often, do you?
The splash.
The belly flop splash.
King Kong Bundy back in the day. Diallo, a big man, 6'4", 300-pounder.
Castillo, 19-yarder. And he punches it through. And it is all Winnipeg in the first half as the best team in the West for the last 3 years comes out with a statement. First half, Collaros, 255 yards, 3 touchdowns. Nick Dembski had 111 yards and a touchdown, caught 5 of the 6 balls that were thrown his way. And just a phenomenal start to the year for the Blue Bombers. And that man, Nick Dembski, who had a great year last season as well. 10 touchdowns, 772 yards, career highs in pretty much all offensive categories. And now Nick Dembski is with our John Lou.
Nick, how many boxes did your club tick off in the game plan for what you wanted to achieve in your first half of the season?
You know what? It was a good half for sure, but, you know, there's definitely room to improve. That first play, you know, still sticking with me a little bit, but then it's about how you bounce back, so we're good.
Well, you bounced back with a score on the next sequence. How gratifying was it to be able to atone for that fumble right away?
Sorry, what did you say?
You bounced back right away with a score on the very next sequence, so how gratifying was it to be able to atone right away?
Sure. The first thing I did, I came off the sidelines. I thank Spoon for getting that interception for us. So, you know, we're a team. The team had my back, offense and defense, everybody. So, you know, it felt good to put some points on the board after that.
Thanks for this, Nick.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah! Well, we're all pumped up to party, and we're ready for a fight. Come on, kick back, relax, watching Friday Night Football. The boys are too bad, playing CFL football. The game is up for grabs. It's Friday Night Football now.
Welcome back to Friday Night Football at IG Field in Winnipeg. Orlando Steinauer's Hamilton Tiger Cats trail 29-4. He is with our John Lou.
Orlando, which was a greater concern for you and your coaching staff, the penalties or turnovers in the first half?
Both. It was just flat out terrible. That's the bottom line. You know, it started off all right. At the end of the day, we're getting them in 2nd and long. We're not getting off the field. We're not able to sustain drives. We're missing our explosion shots. They're kicking our tail right now. That's what it is. So yeah, you can't turn the ball over. We got to take it away some more. We've got to play the second half. We'll look and see our response.
What are your main points of emphasis for the second half to try to turn your fortunes around?
Simple. It's just one play at a time. There's no 20-point plays. You got to play better. This isn't us. You're going to see a different team in the second half.
Thanks for this, Orlando.
You have to like the coach's mindset, don't you?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what the coach thinks. What matters is what those players think, and they better be following his lead, or it's going to be a long hour and a half here.
If they don't respond after hearing what their coach had to say there, it could be a long trip home. Woods stumbles on the return. Bo Levi Mitchell, let's take a look at his first half as a member of the Tiger Cats.
Yeah, and one of the things you heard Coach Orlando Steinauer talk about, you saw the first interception there, but was the fact that they missed some of those explosion plays. You saw Mitchell looking deep a number of times, primarily for Tim White. Those two just unable to connect. And hitting one of those missed opportunities would have made a big difference in the first half of this game.
Takes the handoff, gets it to White out in the flat. White eventually wrapped up and taken down by Alexander, but a decent pickup. And there's another way to get Tim White involved, right?
Yeah, I mean, shorten the pass and get the ball in his hands and let your playmakers make plays. But one of the other things that strikes me as you sort of look at that targeting in the first half, obviously their passing offense is going to go through Tim White. But it seems like they're really leaning on Tim White as a target. Haven't heard Duke Williams' name called since he caught that first pass.
Yeah, very first catch of the game was to Duke Williams, and he has not been targeted again since. And Tim White, sensational last year. 478 yards after the catch, almost 1,300 yards. They exploded into that all-star category.
Yeah, again, Tim White, there's no question that he's a tremendous receiver. But as you see in Winnipeg, you've got to be able to spread the ball around to a number of different guys, not just lean on one.
CFL All-Star last year, an East All-Star in his first year. Now they come back across to Smith. That's his 4th catch of the ball game. Team leading as he takes on a significant role in this offense with Bo Levi Mitchell.
And again, Keandre Smith out of the University of Guelph.
Coach
coached there by Ryan Sheehan, joined by his dad, Pat Sheehan, on that coaching staff. A couple of guys that have produced a lot of receivers over the years as they worked together at the University of Calgary. Had the Philpots prior to their time at Guelph.
Second and short. Butler leaning ahead. That lean might have just been enough to get it. And it looks like it was. Butler had a really nice first half. 6 carries for 56 yards. Might have been better off to go to him a little bit more often.
And another of the Ticats who was victimized, so to speak, by that turnover bug in the first half, as he had a fumble along the way as well.
Got enough for the fresh set. Taking the handoff, in trouble immediately and taken down. Willie Jefferson, first man there. Ball pops out. Bombers hop on it. And Winnipeg's defense coming up huge here early in the third quarter. Nichols eventually coming up with the ball. No time for Bo Levi. Popped. Nichols scoops it up.
Back there. Hey, come on down to Winnipeg. Come on down.
Willie Jefferson, the man of the moment, coming from the right edge of your screen. He's working against Joel Figueroa here, and he just gets his hands into the body. You see, he gets hands on Figueroa before the big tackle can get his hands on Jefferson. Knocks him off into the backfield, onto the quarterback. Dietrich Nichols coming up with the recovery there.
2 sacks on the night for Jefferson, well on his way to the 7 that he had last year. But pitch it out. Oliveira with a ton of room. Down inside the 20, 15. Eventually forced out of bounds by Jameer Thurman. But Brady Oliveira's longest run of the ball game.
And nice misdirection here in that backfield. The chance to get big Stanley Bryan out on the edge. Tossing the much smaller Kenneth George Jr. aside on the block. Watch big 66 here. See ya.
Moving well down the field.
First man ever to be 4-time most outstanding offensive lineman.
7-time All-Star to boot. Hand off to Oliveira, got tied up and then kind of popped after a pickup of about 3 yards behind that offensive line.
Well, even with all those outstanding lineman awards, Stanley Bryant's never going to get a big head in that Winnipeg locker room, as there are no shortage of award winners there.
Rookie of the Year, MLP, offensive lineman, head coach, usually a recipe for a successful season. 2nd and 8 now for Winnipeg. Polaris looking for Shoney, stumbled. Adeleke somehow doesn't pick it off, and it falls incomplete. I don't know if Shone was tied up and stumbled, or just stumbled on his own, but looks like he might have tripped on his own feet.
There you see Shone working out of the slot. Had beaten his man, Javen Elliott, to the inside. Adeleke just misjudging that one. Looked almost like he overran it and tried to hold up.
Little float in the air, waiting for it.
Yeah.
He got banged up in the first half, so it's good that he's back out there. He needs to be helped off the field. 1 interception last year. He would have loved to have that one back. Castillo, 17-yard field goal attempt, just inside the right half. A chip shot, and Castillo makes no mistake. Tack on 3 more for Winnipeg. The lead is 28 on Friday Night Football.
About a CFL Board of Governors meeting there. That lead in.
Did I make you want to watch it at least?
I'm totally tuning in.
I was trying. Don't miss this an episode, all right? Mitchell walking the sideline, trying to get his team on track. Castile kicks it away. It can be taken. Giroux, far side. Long way to go, but wrapped up immediately on the far side of the field by Damian Jackson.
Back to the drawing board for Bo Levi Mitchell and this Hamilton Tiger Cat offense. Turnover to start this third quarter, apparently having missed the memo from Coach Orlando Steinauers. There you see Jackson Jeffcoat.
Done for the night.
Close, yeah.
No reason to push it. As he'll watch for the rest of the night, lower body. That falls incomplete on Bo Levi Mitchell, following a similar path to somebody else.
Yeah, you go back to 2012. The Calgary Stampeders decided they were moving on from a decorated veteran quarterback. They had a young up-and-comer. At that time, it was Drew Tate that pushed Henry Burris out the door. He moved to Hamilton. Burris actually went on to post career highs in passing yards and touchdown passes that year. Ticats set a franchise record in points scored that year, but missed the playoffs.
This one almost intercepted. It was Nichols. He got down underneath it, but couldn't finish the job. And a frustrated Bo Levi Mitchell walks to the sidelines.
Things getting a little heated back at the line of scrimmage here as well. Some words being exchanged. Tiger Cats lucky to avoid another turnover.
Bailey Flint, Australian punter, out to kick it away. It's a beauty. Grant takes it at the 20. Gets a block. And that's about it. Just outside the 30. As the Ticats continue to struggle offensively. Not on the same page here. Duke Williams was going one way, and that ball was coming the other. Ticats in trouble so far tonight. Party on here at IG Field. Opener, beautiful night. Bombers roll, and the fans are having the time of their life.
Good to be a Bomber fan. Good night to be a Bomber fan.
Collaros will just hand this one off. Short pickup into the hands of his running back, Brady Oliveira. 14th carry of the game for Oliveira, who works his way towards 100 yards.
I would anticipate, should the Bombers maintain this lead going forward, you're just going to see Oliveira get busier as things progress.
Finished third in league rushing last year behind James Butler, who's on the other sideline tonight, and Kadeem Carey. Collaros throwing this one. Came over that line of scrimmage a little wobbly and ends up dropping incomplete.
Oh, much needed 2 and out. Because it's kind of now or never for the Tiger Cats if they're going to turn the momentum in this ball game.
Something positive, anything positive. Yeah. We saw Orlando Steinauer say at halftime we weren't going to see the same team here in the second half. And so far they look very similar to what we saw in the first half. Sheehan standing shadow of his goalpost to have this one blocked and hopping all over at the Ticats. And if you're looking for momentum, how about a touchdown? Omar Bayless, who took a penalty earlier in the game, gets some redemption here at his first CFL strike.
Well, offense struggling to get going, defense having its hand full with the Bombers. How about special teams? Good job. Coming up big here. Good effort there off the edge. Carthel Flowers Lloyd, the man who got his hands on it. Newcomer out of Stony Brook. Bayless with the recovery. The Cats' first major.
Offense back out here looking for a couple. Mitchell has it on the run. Tight window, and that'll be picked off. And taken back outside the 15. Mario Houston again getting in front of a Bo Levi Mitchell pass. Sheehan with the kick. Batted away. Bayless hops on it. The PGA Tour continues in Canada as golfers tee up for the third round of the RBC Canadian Open tomorrow. Tune into the action 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific on TSN and CTV2. Canadian Corey Connors tied for second, and Adam Hadwin in the top 20 as well. So some Canadian flavor at the Canadian Open.
The Ticats look to special teams for their first touchdown of the night. Rookie Carthel Flowers Lloyd comes off the edge here. Didn't look necessarily like a missed assignment, just late getting to him. By that point, he's deep enough in the backfield. Get her done. There's special teams coordinator Jeff Reinbold, veteran coach here in the CFL, one-time head coach here in Winnipeg.
Ticats will boot it away. Grant hustling over. Bounce at the 17 and then roll out of bounds. Just outside the 10.
Legal kickoff out of bounds. Hamilton number 47. Winnipeg elects to take the football as a first down.
Well, didn't get the 2 points, but something to build on. Now if your defense could come out and make it, and we're not talking miraculous comeback by any stretch, but we're talking week one here, Dwayne, and trying to find some positives in the second half.
Well, that said, you always look to correct the negatives, build on the positives, and special teams coming up with certainly one of the biggest positives of the night here for the Tiger Cats.
First and 10 on that Winnipeg 50. Back to Oliveira, holds on to the football, secures it, pushes up towards midfield, and that'll take him over 90 yards on the ground tonight.
And in the world of Canadian football, 3 scores by no means with a quarter and a half to go. By no means does that have a game out of reach. Your concern in this game from a Hamilton perspective is just largely how little resistance you feel like you're seeing.
You have to do something to build on it, right? And they haven't been able to get there just yet. Kolaris having an excellent night. Here's some pressure. What a move by Zach. Now he's under the pocket on the run. Carney in his face takes him down. Official right there, and it falls incomplete.
Ticats forced it 2 and out before blocking the punt. Come up with another good defensive series here as they seem to be finding their way. Malik Carney, part of a deep defensive end group in Hamilton over the last couple of years. He had 7 sacks for the Ticats a year ago.
He gets this one away, a low driving kick. End over end, bounces at the 15. Woods will grab it. Hung on to the ball and eventually is wrapped up and taken down on the return. A couple of sacks in this game for Willie Jefferson. For more on Big Willie, let's send it down to John Lou.
Thank you, Dustin. And part of Willie Jefferson's off-season training back in his native Texas used to be running and doing plyometrics drills in sandboxes and on beach volleyball courts. But now that the Jefferson family has relocated to permanently live in Winnipeg, they just spent their first winter here. Willie J has switched to snow training, doing cone drills, high-stepping, running in the snowbanks in his front and backyards. And he says that the resistance from snow is greater than he would get in sand. The big difference being that instead of training in shorts and bare feet, Jefferson has to gear up and can only do workouts for about 15 to 20 minutes before he had to call it quits.
That's because it'd be freezing cold. Willie Jefferson, him and his family setting up shop here in Winnipeg year-round. There are his daughters, Kelly and Riley.
Yeah, watching Dad on TV in the preseason last week.
That's on the field right here. No better place for Willie Jefferson's youngest daughter to take her first steps.
Yeah, that's Riley. Doesn't quite have Dad's first step.
White wide open. Des Lawrence had fallen, and they finally connect on a deeper shot to Tim White. Eventually ran out of bounds by Evan Holm.
Well, the Cats will be benefiting from some of the luck that went the Bombers' way in the first half, with the defender losing his footing to leave a receiver open. There it is, as you said, Tim White up over midfield.
White, who led the league in targets last season with 145, has been targeted double digits here tonight by his new quarterback. Now down the field, Duke Williams grabs it, turns, takes it to the 15, trying to stay on his feet, and he does, to the 5, and eventually it's Holm again who gets back and wraps him up. Second catch of the game for Duke is a big one.
And you can see this one coming all the way. I was watching Duke Williams on his route take the hole in the middle. He's going to come out of the slot, takes the middle here. It was just a matter of if Bo Levi Mitchell was going to have time to spot him. Sure enough, veteran quarterback picks him up. Nice touch over the middle for their biggest connection thus far.
First and goal from the Winnipeg 5 for the Ticats. Their offense looking to break through for the first time tonight. It's Butler's second effort. Did that ball pop loose? We wait for the call at IG Field.
Ticats are signaling touchdown. Bombers are signaling it's their ball.
And the officials are digging for an answer. And they do say touchdown Tiger Cats.
Play, Hamilton, illegal procedure, no end. This is a 5-yard penalty. We're going to replay first down.
All that for nothing.
Even when it goes well, it goes badly. But they live to fight another down. At least it's not a fumble or loss of possession here for the Tiger Cats.
Alexander came over. It looked like Butler might have been losing that anyway. That ball in to the end zone, rolling over the line.
The previous play is under review by the command center.
As you saw from that angle, it appeared that the ball was out before Butler hit the turf.
Came out just before, right?
Yeah, you could see it as Butler was starting to go down. You could see the ball away from his body. That we could still have this ruled a fumble, and on continuation could be Winnipeg football here.
Here's another look at it. Where's that ball when that knee goes down?
See, I think the knee is.
Oh,
the ball is tucked in behind there.
But the ball was in behind that Bomber's leg, wasn't it? When the.
Yeah, just not sure if the right knee, as the picture's cut off at the bottom of the screen. Not sure if that right knee had hit the turf yet.
So it does look like the ball is out, and they are trying to determine if the Bombers had recovered this football. We've mentioned Holm a lot tonight, haven't we? Holm is in there.
Yeah, Evan Holm looking for more full-time employment in that Bomber secondary. Like he was the first to get his hands on it.
Yeah, the big arm Figueroa in there as well. That's a tough ruling either way. We did talk about it earlier coming into this game tonight. Ticats having problems with turnovers last year, and here they are again with interceptions, fumbles, and not the way you wanted to start the year for a team that
After
struggled.
review by the command center, we had an illegal procedure, no end, on the right side of Hamilton. This is a 5-yard penalty that will be applied from the previous line of scrimmage, and we're going to repeat first down.
So just went back to confirm everything that was laid out a few moments ago.
And that makes sense given that what the signal on the field was touchdown, suggesting that Hamilton had recovered eventually that loose ball in the end zone.
Another crack at it for the Ticats. Mitchell looks to his right, throws to his right for wide, goes up, gets it. And he hung on, spectacular by Tim White, and he lays in pain just beyond the end zone.
Well, paying the price to make it play is Tim White. Working towards that corner, it's White versus Holm again here. They go down to the turf hard. We'll see if we can get a closer look here at what exactly happened to the Tiger Cats' leading man. Maybe just down hard on that.
A lot of pressure on the shoulder, yeah. It looks like it when he kind of, that arm didn't move much after, did it? Mitchell's last 3 passes, 88 yards. He only had 77 on his previous 11.
Not the way he wanted it to happen, but Bo Levi Mitchell's first touchdown pass is a Hamilton Tiger Cat. Not surprisingly, has Tim White on the receiving end.
Nice play by White, too. And there's Holm again, trying to come over. Eventually took it away, but not before he held on to it. White's got 5 catches for 63 yards and a touchdown. He's up and walking on his own. Well, the lead's been cut to 16 with 3:32 remaining here in the third quarter. Tack on another one for Seth Small.
And with 186 more. 187 more touchdown passes for Bo Levi Mitchell. He'll match his numbers with Calgary.
Got a long way to go, but he talked about wanting to build a second legacy with the Ticats. Tim White, the All-Star last year, 8 touchdowns with Hamilton in 2022. He's got 1 on the board here tonight. And we'll see. I mean, if Hamilton's defense can come out and make a play and get the ball back, maybe some momentum for the Ticats late here in the third quarter. The problem is Winnipeg's just been so darn efficient so far tonight.
Yeah, defense has found a little bit of momentum these last couple of Winnipeg possessions. Forcing 2-and-out situations. Tiger Cats responding with a special teams touchdown and an offensive touchdown. It may not necessarily feel like it given maybe the pace of the game, but the Cats actually carrying some momentum right now.
Small set to boot it away, 32-17. His Tiger Cats trailing a Winnipeg team that won 15 games last year. Grant out to the 30. Janarian Grant looking for the sideline, and he will be taken down just outside the 50. His best return of the night for the Bombers. Let's take a look at this touchdown drive by Hamilton.
Yeah, long catch down the sideline for Tim White as he took advantage of a fallen defender. And it was Duke Williams over the middle hauling this one in from Mitchell. And then Bo again finding Tim White at the back of the end zone. The touchdown pass number 1 in his Hamilton Tiger Cat career.
An objectional conduct penalty against Flowers Lloyd. Number 43 there on your screen. And you just can't do that against anybody, let alone the Bombers, when you're trying to get back into a football game. That moves the ball all the way up on the Ticat side of the field, and they will work from the Hamilton 46. Zach Kolaris dumps it off. Nice burst and a push ahead down inside the 35. Rasheed Bailey, a dangerous weapon you can move around this offense.
Yeah, and it's been kind of neat to see, as we've always talked about, the Nick Dembski position in this offense as a receiver who carries the ball a little bit. But finding Rasheed Bailey picking up some of that slack as well. And what it does is you have those receivers running the sweeps. You can bring them in motion, fake to those guys. It's going to loosen up the ends a little bit and open things up on the inside for Brady Oliveira.
Bailey in his 4th season with the Bombers. Career highs last year shown. What a catch as he picks that off on the run and hauls it in. His 4th of the game.
Yeah, Zach Kolaris just delivering a strike here on the quick slant to Schoen getting underneath the defender. Strong catch in his hands, taking that in stride, move the sticks.
Any momentum that the Ticats might have thought they had going, Winnipeg quickly is taking care of that. Less than 90 seconds remaining, quarter number 3. They'll hand it off to Bailey, pushing ahead down inside the 5. My goodness, that was executed well, wasn't it?
Yeah, just attacking those edges of the Hamilton defense with speed. Keep an eye, you see Bailey working across the formation here. Watch the block. That time Dembski faking on the corner, then moving out. Stalk his man to the secondary. Good read there from Rasheed Bailey to turn it up inside.
Jonathan Kongbo was down, being looked at, now is able to get up. Acquired in that trade with BC last week.
Yeah, former Bomber, first-round pick of the Bombers. Part of their 2019 draft class and Grey Cup squad.
Bombers looking for more. Kolaris turns, a little bit of magic here, trying to get it to Dembski, and Dembski picks up a couple of yards. As Winnipeg giving you some different looks.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to see at this time of year some of the wrinkles that teams start to build into their systems. And you know, you look at a team like Winnipeg, because they've had a level of continuity offensively, they're a little bit further along in week 1 than many offenses would be. And so we talk about how much the receiver run game is a part of what they do, and now you start to see them building in some counters and misdirection type plays off of that.
I like the creativity, except as a play-by-play man. Trying to follow the ball and give it to someone, Zach. 2nd and goal, Hamilton 2. Simple this time. Oliveira untouched to the house. And the Bombers tack on 6 more.
Nice block there. Kick out. The fullback Damian Jackson coming across the formation. He's got the defensive end Bennett. Oliveira right up the middle to Bader.
If you started Oliveira in fantasy this weekend, you're loving it. Gets to the end zone, closing in on 100 yards rushing. Involved through the air as well. A nice start to the season for a guy who had 1,000 yards on the ground in 2022. The party has been on all night at IG Field as the Bombers coming out and sending a message on Friday Night Football. 39-17, the Bombers in full control of this game, on their way to finishing it, which I guess we can say the same about the Yard Dog. Quick update from the first quarter. About halfway done this thing.
You've done nice work there.
Yeah, thanks, man. I've been working hard on this tonight.
Yeah.
It is, it's delicious. It's $45, but it's delicious. Look, everything's delicious here if you're a Bombers fan tonight. This is a pretty dominant performance start to finish so far.
Yeah, it really has been. They've looked very good, obviously, offensively, and I think that's the number one thing that people look at. I think for those who are maybe concerned about the Bombers being a year older, a couple sacks for Willie Jefferson, a couple big hits for Adam Big Hill, and the veteran guys are looking like they've still got it.
At some point they get older, right? Every year, this year, and it's only week one, we get it, but yeah, it's a nice start.
You know what, I in the grand scheme of things, agree with my guy Milton Stiegel 100%. Father Time remains undefeated. The Bombers are just putting up a hell of a fight.
That man, 33 years old, trying to establish something here in Hamilton, but finds his team down by 22 as we get going in the fourth quarter. Willie Jefferson, a big part of the defense for the Bombers here in the Friday Night Football opener. A little bit of a delay. They'll hand it off to Butler. Read well, and maybe a yard just back past the line of scrimmage.
There's the longest serving Bomber, Jake Thomas, out of Acadia University, involved in that stop. See Winnipeg's defensive numbers from last season. Whole lot of firsts. Here's the summary of that list. There's their defensive coordinator, Richie Hall.
You mentioned Jake Thomas, who hasn't missed a game in 5 years. Nice to be available. Mitchell. That one knocked down by Alden Darby, who came over. DeAndre Smith wasn't able to hang on. That's the first ball he's touched tonight that he wasn't able to haul in. He was perfect 4 for 4 prior to that.
Yeah, Smith, we've seen him line up outside this time, working in the slot. Alden Darby doing a nice job to get the right hand in to pluck that one out. Former Argonaut Tycat himself.
Towering kick from Flint, taken by Grant. And nothing opens up as Grant will just bring it back a few yards just outside the 25. Brady Oliveira, 96 yards on 16 carries, a long of 28, and a touchdown to boot.
Yes, averaging 6 yards a pop, by the way.
Did you look that up?
No,
wow. Nice work, Dwayne.
I'm excellent at simple division, Dustin.
He only had 4 rushing touchdowns last year because they got the quarterbacks year after year, right? McGuire and Prukop, and they tried to bring Pigram in as well earlier today. He got stuffed twice, so maybe an opportunity around the goal line a little bit more often for Oliveira. He's 4 yards for 100 on the night. He'll get a couple of them there.
I mean, I'll take this opportunity to lobby a little bit further. A return of the fullback dive. You know, bring back the old school fullback.
Would you say a lost art?
You know, it really is. The truthfully, I mean, the short yardage game has changed, exactly as you said, that it has become about eliminating the exchange. The fewer people that handle the ball, the better. We'll snap it to the quarterback, and he will be the only guy who will touch the ball. Keep it safe.
Just a yard for Brady on that carry. 2nd and 9. Ticats are going to bring some heat. Collaros gets it away. Schoen trying to one-hand it as he was out ahead of Javian Elliott, but he could not haul it in with 12:45 on the clock in the 4th. We talked about it a little bit earlier on, and I think we talked about it on our Zoom calls with a few of the Bombers earlier in the week, just how much it helps them be ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
Having that same group back. Like if you're Bo Levi and the Ticats, you got Butler, it's Duke Williams. Everybody's new to Bo.
Yeah.
On this side, the offense, outside of bringing Kenny Lawler back, and he's not even available tonight, it's just that same group again.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, though, like even Lawler, the guy who had been with the Bombers, spent last year with Edmonton, but
Woods with the bobble, ball still loose, somebody grab it, and it does look like the Ticats are on it. Katsatonis was able to slide in there. He had a great year in special teams last year, 20 special teams tackles, and here he's able to hop on a ball that Woods just couldn't control. Time now for the Coors Light moment to chill. Willie Jefferson in that Coors Light spotlight.
yeah, working those hands and the pass rush moves in his pregame warm-up. You know, he brings some of the same stuff come game time.
It's that popular saying, practice like you play.
That's
right?
it.
Is that it?
Willie's doing it.
Moment to chill with Coors Light. Oh, a couple of cold ones. Silver bullets. The crowd still getting on Bo Levi Mitchell here. Down the field looking for Duke. Goes up, and there's Holm again. How many times tonight have we mentioned Evan Holm making a play defensively?
Doing a nice job there, but apparently coming down awkwardly. It looks like he's going to try and shake that one off. Duke Williams, who over the years has turned many a 50-50 ball into a 75-25 ball. But Evan Holm was up to the challenge on that one. Guy who Mike O'Shea describes as having maybe the best feet he's ever seen on a DB.
Good pressure from the Bombers. They dump it off to Butler. Broke one tackle, but the support was there. Demario Houston, who's having himself a game, came over there and finished things off.
Yeah, Houston was kind of the guy that got things started here tonight with a first quarter interception. A sideline pass by Bo Mitchell.
Had the interception on that two-point conversion as well. Clint lets it fly. Lower kick. Driven into the arms of Grant. 3 regular season return touchdowns last year. A couple of big ones in the postseason as well. Demario Houston, great start to the season. MLS on TSN featuring Toronto FC returns tomorrow with a showdown against Nashville. Catch the action at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN. Bringing the Grey Cup back. Bombers fans have their sights set high.
It looked a little like the Nature Boy Ric Flair on the right, didn't it? If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man.
About 11 minutes left here in the 4th quarter. Collaros, pressure right up the middle, dumps it off. Oliveira's got it, and he's got a ton of room. Oliveira, midfield and more, down to the 40, and eventually Adeleke is able to take them down. Second catch of the game for Oliveira. Another big one.
Little play action on the screen. Looking to get, big boys are trying to get out in front. They're working for him. Oliveira turns the corner here. Mo Diallo, the last man, coming off that front line, trying to get to him.
36-yard pickup for Oliveira, who's also on the verge of a 100-yard game on the ground. Colaro's in trouble this time. Can he get there? No, it's going to be scooped up at midfield. And now a race. They'll stay on their feet. And all the way the other way. A scoop and score for Edwards as the Ticats defense gets it done.
Good anticipation there for the Tiger Cats in terms of disrupting that backfield flow for Winnipeg. You've got a fake to the running back, Oliveira moving to the right, looking to get it to the receiver. Bailey coming the other way. Big Ted Laurent dents the offensive line. Newcomer Chris Edwards over from Toronto into the backfield as well. Scoop and score. Tiger Cats with offensive, defensive, and special teams touchdowns.
Just not enough. But all aspects of the game contributing for the Ticats. They'll go for two here to try to make it a 14-point game. Mitchell to the corner for Duke. Williams almost had it. Was working against Lawrence and he bats it away. The lead remains 16 for Winnipeg with 9.5 minutes on the clock. Here's another look at that last breakdown. Laurent just comes barreling in. Rasheed Bailey right here tried to get a piece of Edwards, but after that it was good night, see you later, and Edwards all the way home.
Yeah, you can see Edwards kind of took a quick peek around as Bailey got to him to see if he had a pitch man if needed. But he manages to fight through, but the penetration from big Ted Laurent bursting into that backfield. You can see the disappointment from Zach. No matter how many things have gone well, he's not happy with the most recent play.
Was lacking in an execution there, that one moment. And Ticats able to take advantage of it as they just hang around a little bit. Grant finding some space. That ball pops up. The Ticats have it again. Are you kidding me? This one down to the 10, the 5, and stopped just short. Touchdown saving tackle from Augustine. But the Ticats are right back in business.
3 phases to the game. The Ticats special teams got it started with a blocked punt for a touchdown. Offense scores a touchdown. Defense scores a touchdown. Special teams comes up with yet another big play here to set the Tiger Cats up on the Winnipeg 2-yard line.
Hamilton Tiger Cats not ready to go away just yet. Grant pops it up, it's taken away. Sopik back, almost took it all away. It was Wilson who popped this ball loose, and then Sopik scoops it up.
Yeah, watch for 15, Kyle Wilson coming into the picture. He delivers the pop. Knocks that ball up in the air. Wilson started a number of games last year for an injured Simone Lawrence. Fraser Sopik over in free agency from Calgary.
Bombers crowd trying to get behind his defense. They'll hand it off. Pushing through and getting there. James Butler. Touchdown Ticats, and they are still alive.
Well, Orlando Steinauer told us at halftime we'd see a different team in the second half. We wondered on those first couple of possessions how it was going to go, as they had an early turnover in the third quarter, but the Ticats showing absolutely no quit in this football game, fighting their way back here in the fourth quarter.
And now they will look to make it an 8-point ball game with still 9:04 left to go in the fourth quarter. Mitchell to here would be huge. 4 options out to his right. Looks that way, goes that way. Williams has it. And we've got an 8-point ball game for Friday Night Football at IG Field.
This is what Friday Night Football is all about.
You got to give the Ticats a ton of credit here, giving us a show, obviously, but here's how they got back into this football game, a game they were trailing 29-4 at halftime.
Yeah, got it started with the punt block. Bayless recovers that for a touchdown. An offensive touchdown for Hamilton in between by Tim White. Then defense comes up big. Chris Edwards scooping up the fumble, rushing that in, and a massive play on special teams here. Kyle Wilson with the hit, Fraser Sopik with the return. James Butler punches it in from the 2. 2-point convert to Duke Williams, and something that never felt like it was going to be a one-possession football game is a one-possession football game.
70 combined points with 8:50 to play. And that ball out of bounds.
That hurts.
At the 26.
Illegal kick out of bounds. Hamilton with 47. Winnipeg elected to take the ball first down.
So that'll place the ball all the way up at the 50. Can't really have that when everything's going your way, right?
Yeah, to give them that field position without at least making them work for it.
We'll see if the Bombers get back on track here. Maybe some Brady Oliveira right up the middle. He's got 17 carries, 98 yards, 2 catches for 58 yards. A touchdown in there as well. And he stands to the right of Collaros, who's going to be throwing, gets it to Schoen about 5 yards before he's wrapped up at midfield. 5th catch of the game for last year's Rookie of the Year.
A big second down play here for Hamilton, simply because you don't want to let Winnipeg into your territory to start creeping into field goal range to turn this into a 2-possession game again.
Mark Washington barking out instructions from that Ticat sideline. 2nd and 5, smack dab at midfield. Collaros goes that way, and it looks like it's going to be marked a yard shy of what they need. Rasheed Bailey says I was there, but he's not going to win that discussion.
That's going to be Drew Brown out with the short yardage unit this time.
Well, if the Ticats get another stop here, and they did a couple of times on short yardage with Pigram in the game earlier.
Yeah, big goal line stand.
Get the ball back right at midfield. Brown looking for the push ahead, and he's got enough right behind his center, and he takes it down inside the Ticats 50.
It's ticking down to 7 minutes left here. You wonder if Winnipeg looks to slow things down a little bit. You know, it's not necessarily sort of shut it down time or victory formation by any stretch. But I think with Hamilton gaining some momentum, just to slow the pace of the game down a little bit and keep Bo Levi Mitchell and company standing on the sidelines for a few minutes.
1st and 10 from the Ticat 49. Collaros near side. It's Bailey. gang tackled at the 50. Back to the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard beyond for Rasheed Bailey.
Tiger Cats swarming aggressively there as Winnipeg looks to kind of go high percentage, low risk in the passing game. The hitch out to Bailey that time.
So 2nd and 9, maybe the Ticats' best opportunity. Try to get their defense off the field here. Oliveira stands to the left of Collaros. Pressure coming. Collaros steps up. Now he's going to take off to his left. He's got some room to run. Spins. And avoids disaster there from Carney. But it will bring up 3rd down. And it'll be about 3 or 4 yards shy of what they needed.
But this is what the Tiger Cats wanted to avoid. Is this going to be Sergio Castillo and the field goal team coming on because of the field position they gave up? We'll go back to that penalty on the kickoff.
Yeah.
Kick going out of bounds. It started Winnipeg up at the 50-yard line on this possession.
From 50 yards for Castillo to push this lead back to 11. Castillo has it. Steady as she goes, right down the middle, more than enough. Winnipeg on top, 42-31 with less than 5 to play. Interesting night for these two quarterbacks. Here's Bo Levi Mitchell on the guy on the other side of the ball.
As a friend, I'm excited to watch him do what he does. As a competitor, I hate it because, it makes it tougher to come out and play Winnipeg every day. But as a fan of football myself, I love this game. It's fun to watch people play this game at a very high level. And as a guy that wants to be the best in this game and be the best in this league, it's a fun challenge. The respect I have for that guy is tremendous.
Interesting relationships between quarterbacks around the league. Multiple flags here.
Illegal procedure. Hamilton, number 64, 5-yard penalty. Will replay 1st down.
Crowd at IG Field doing their thing. First and 15 for Mitchell. To the right, a completion. And a big chunk there from Tyler Ternowski. His 2nd catch of the game.
Ternowski, the University of Waterloo product. Hamilton native. And his 3rd year in black and gold.
Big 2nd down. They'll hand it off. Nowhere to go. Butler driven back. This will depend on the spot. Ticats think he has it, and he does. Just enough for James Butler, and Hamilton's offense will stay on the field.
I thought they were going to be just short on that one. A little surprised to see the sticks move, but a big 1st down. Picked up courtesy of the 2nd effort of James Butler.
First and 10 from their own 50. Mitchell wide open. Godwin wrapped up by Big Hill, finished off by Clements as he comes over to help out Biggie. And we are inside 3 minutes. Don't go anywhere. A Friday night football thriller as the Ticats trying to claw their way back. 2:49 left at IG Field, and 42-31. That's how we got there. 27 points for the Ticats. in the second half of this ball game.
Build on the positives. If you're Hamilton, they'll take a shot here and see what they can do in the final 2:45 to make this a ball game, but definitely some things to build on here in the final 30 minutes.
2nd and 3. And they're going to be backed up here.
Legal procedure.
Right guard pulled her with Manzi.
Number 64. Penalty. Still second down.
Manzi flinched on the play.
Ticats need 8. Mitchell in the pocket. Williams taken down, multiple flags on the play, and it looks like it's going to be Alexander. He's been sort of tied up with Duke as he tried to cut in there.
Yeah, Williams just working underneath on this one. Across the middle.
Defensive pass interference. Winnipeg number 35. The ball will be placed where the infraction occurred. Automatic first down.
Ticats do have an offensive lineman down on the turf right now. I think it's Kyle Saxelid. And he is being looked at as the ball has been now placed at the Winnipeg 45 with 2.5 to go. That is Saxelid. Looks like he's kind of trying to reach down towards his left leg that's stretched out there. And they'll help the big fella up. Spent a couple of years in Edmonton, 2019 and 21.
He was acquired along with linebacker Grant McDonald, a draft day trade last year.
Talked about it a little bit earlier. Here's Zach Collaros the other way on Bo Levi Mitchell.
I just always liked his style. He's confident out there. Obviously, he has a great arm and he's very accurate and can throw the ball downfield. But I've just always liked the way that he plays the game. Nothing really seems to bother him. He'll go out there, whether he throws an interception or a touchdown, you really can't tell the difference. He carries himself with a lot of poise and a lot of confidence. So I've always, really admired that about Bo.
Mutual admiration.
Yeah, and kind of neat. We heard that the two of these guys actually got to throw together a little bit this offseason. As Collaros spends his off seasons in the greater Toronto area, Bo moving to the Hamilton area, so also in southern Ontario.
Pressure from the Bombers, and Jefferson knocks it down. And that'll bring up 2nd and 10, second knockdown of the game for Willie.
Willie Jefferson, far left of your screen, just continuing to be a force out there. D-line with the injuries. Saxelid had been in at right tackle.
That was Revenberg that time.
Yeah, because of the injury.
Yeah.
Tyrone Riley started the game in that spot, but Revenberg, a little different for him than playing guard. Tough to get out there on Jefferson.
Mitchell now down the field looking for Godwin, and it's knocked away. Mario Houston's terrific night continues.
It'll be interesting to see over time kind of the fine-tuning of the deep passing game for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. As we've seen a couple times where it looked like Mitchell had receivers and either just slightly overthrew or just slightly underthrew. In this case, it's a slight underthrow that really allows DeMario Houston to get there and make a play.
They have brought out Seth Small to attempt a 52-yarder from the right hash. His long last year was 58. Needs this to make it an 8-point game. And a timeout was called by the Ticats.
Prior to the ball being snapped, timeout was called by Hamilton.
So a timeout at the last second, and the offense is going to trot back out here and face a 3rd and 10. Dwayne, your thoughts on this?
You need a touchdown and a field goal. The order in which they come doesn't necessarily matter.
Interesting to have that last second change of
and there's an awkwardness to that whole field goal attempt.
I don't know what that was either.
Yeah.
It looked like he was
Small was approaching the ball. He was approaching the ball before the ball was snapped.
Yeah. Maybe a planned fake that didn't go as planned. Now 3rd and 10. Mitchell's got to have it here. 3 options to his left. Mitchell's in trouble and he'll be taken down. Celestin Haba. First CFL sack is a big one.
A newcomer out of Texas A&M Commerce. There's number 45, Haba, off the edge. Watch him dip the shoulder, working against the veteran Joel Figueroa. Just dips the shoulders, gets underneath the hands, finds his way home. A late arrival at Bombers camp, but a guy who quickly caught the eye of head coach Mike O'Shea. He's been a quick study.
Brady Oliveira churning ahead, and that'll give him a 100-yard evening here in game 1. Stepping into this great Bombers defense, to be able to contribute in a huge moment in your first game has just got to go such a long way to feeling like you fit in.
Yeah, getting the opportunity. We mentioned Jackson Jeffcoat in the second half. Forced to the sidelines.
Second down, Oliveira again, and that'll be a first as he marches down inside the Ticat 50. Brady Oliveira just 2 100-yard games last year, and he's already put one up in that column here tonight.
And now it's closing time for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, which is all about Brady Oliveira and that offensive line. Imposing their will to keep that clock running.
Oliveira's high last year was 118. He keeps running the ball here. He might take a sniff around that. Go back to him again. Lowers the boom and pushes through. And it's the running back that's closing it here, as Dwayne said. But here's a look at the quarterbacks tonight. Much anticipated battle.
Yeah, there you see the numbers. Zach Collaros did a lot of his damage early.
Yeah.
And this one, Bo trying to make up ground in the second half. Put up a good fight, but there's some work to be done for a Hamilton Tiger Cats team and offense that has a lot of new faces.
I believe it was 188 yards and 3 touchdowns in the first quarter for Zach tonight. Oliveira tacking on a few more, and it'll be stopped just shy of a first down around the Ticat 40 with 57 seconds on the clock.
So we talked earlier in making the comparison between the two quarterbacks about the fact that these two guys came into the league together in 2012. So you look, as we're here in 2023, coming into the league in 2012, you had Zach Collaros, Bo Levi Mitchell, Trevor Harris, Jeremiah Masoli, 4 of the league's 9 starting quarterbacks. All came in the same year, 11 years later.
And
they're still at it. Very different paths for all of them,
yeah.
but they're all still at it. All now starters, all have made their way into the league's top 50 in career passing yardage.
All 4 of them in the top 50, according to our TSN crew this year as well. Mazzoli just hoping to stay healthy. Here's Oliveira, and that's another first down right up the middle once again, and that surpasses last year's game high for Brady Oliveira. So what a way to start the season. What about the Ticats tonight? Not great to start. An interesting way to get back in it.
Yeah, I mean, good teams find a way. I think the Hamilton Tiger Cats tried to find a way tonight, but just not quite enough against what many consider to still be the top team in the Canadian Football League.
Mario Houston celebrating a couple of interceptions and a big knockdown late in this game. A lot of different people contributing for the Bombers, which has been the recipe for success the last 3 years. Have to be happy with where they started tonight, Bombers fans do, don't they, Dwayne?
Yeah, great way to start the season for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, winning in very convincing fashion. Strong start, strong close when they needed to here at the end as well, with Brady Oliveira in the running game.
A new home, a new team, and a new look for Bo Levi Mitchell. A touchdown and a couple of interceptions tonight. Goes 18 of 34 for 187 yards. On the other side, the back-to-back MOP looks to play the part once again. Zach Collaros, brilliant, 354 yards, 3 touchdowns, and most importantly for Zach and this team, leading the Blue Bombers to a victory with the help of his running back, Brady Oliveira, who was terrific tonight as well. The Ticats started last year 0-4, and they dropped their first game.